Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullin. Senator, thank you so much for being with us tonight. And this does beg the question, why does Senator Schumer seem to be so confident? Possibly it's because there's been some reporting now in the Wall Street Journal that some GOP lawmakers, including Senator Thune, Leader Thune, are telling the White House they're concerned about the moves being made by Russ Vought when it comes to whether it's taking away back pay from furloughed workers, getting rid of governments, cutting programs, and that he's saying maybe back off that rhetoric because that's helping the Democrats. Your response?
Well, Dagan, first of all, this is, Leader Thune has been very clear. He's walking step by step, and with the White House, there's no daylight between us, between the House or the White House. I have not heard that conversation at all from Leader Thune, and I talked to him several times every day. In fact, I just got done having a conversation with him. We are 100% in the same boat, rowing in the same direction, saying we're not giving an inch. The federal government has to be reopened. If the Democrats actually want to negotiate, then they got to open the government on a bill that they've already voted for 5 other times. I mean, keep in mind, this is a clean CR. You know that. They voted for this last year in September. They voted for this in December. They voted for this in January. They voted for it in March. What has changed now is that, well, you got a career politician in Chuck Schumer, who in 1996, Dagan, he was sitting right here, because I'm sitting just out the House chamber right now because where the camera location was. He was just in this chamber right beside me, and he said that we can't give programs, we can't give assistance to illegals because if we do, it incentivizes them to come through. Well, that was 30 years ago when I was still in high school, and now that career politician has changed tunes. He's holding American hostage because he's wanting to give all the illegals free health care on the taxpayer dime in a tune of $1.5 trillion. And so when you have career politicians as leaders, this is what happens. They think they're winning because they're putting pain on the American people, and their base that is now being controlled by Marxists and jihadists are liking it. But the American people, who cares about? And by the way, the ones that Russ is having to furlough, the Democrats are saying that they're fighting for them, but they're the reasons why they're in this position, because they knew when they shut the government down and we went into a Schumer shutdown that they literally gave the authority to President Trump to deem essential and non-essential employees. So right. This is their fault.
That was Cheryl, by the way, Senator Mullin.
Oh, Cheryl, sorry. I'm so sorry, Cheryl.
No, you don't have a return camera there. I know that. But she sounds like an adult who learned to speak English properly, and I sound like I still live, up in the holler.
Well, you and I talk the same because yeah. I'm from Eastern Oklahoma.
But the thing about all the Democrats have to do is extend, as you pointed out, the funding levels for 7 weeks. Our military next week is going to miss a paycheck. Schumer and his ilk are okay with that. Today, there are 7 airports or FAA facilities reporting staffing shortages for the evening, including Washington, D.C., Boston, and the Chicago Tower and Newark. They're okay with that. They're okay putting, and this whole nonsense about the millions of people who are going to lose nothing. It's about 1.5 million people who are rich, who are going to lose subsidies, which happens at the end of the year. That has nothing to do with this shutdown. And the reason premiums are going up right now is because of Obamacare and the boondoggle morass horror show that it is. So he can shove that where the sun doesn't shine, Senator.
Yeah, Dagan, let's unpack a lot of that. This premium tax that they're talking about, this was to help COVID victims, right? This was during COVID. This was never designed, this thing that they're saying is going to cause the premiums to increase, this was always designed to be temporary. The Democrats were in control. Biden had the White House, Chuck Schumer had the Senate, and Nancy Pelosi had the House at the time when they voted on this to be temporary. They could have made it permanent at the time if they wanted to. They always knew this was going to expire. So this is just baloney what they're talking about. And then when you start talking about what is happening happening with military pay, we have to actually open the government up right now, because if we don't vote on it by midnight tonight to reopen it, the checks that are supposed to go out on the 15th isn't going to happen. And in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, right now, they're starting a food bank for active duty service members, and it's all because of the Chuck Schumer shutdown.
Yep. They don't care except about their own political gain. Senator Mark Wayne
That's
Mullin.
right.
Power on, sir. Power on.
Thank you.